Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Masters of Multifamily. I'm Travis Watts, the Director of Investor Education here at Ashcroft Capital. Today, got a very special guest for you. Rosanna Queenman is a CFA, the president of Queenvest, a planning and investment firm that focuses on the needs of successful realtors and real estate investors. Rosanna helps her clients secure multiple streams of passive income and put in place a robust plan to protect their wealth. Welcome to the show, Rosanna.
Thank you, Travis. I'm glad to be here.
Thrilled to have you. So we both share a passion for helping other people in terms of building passive income, building wealth. Capital preservation is one of our core values here at Ashcroft Capital. And I can tell you, after working with years and years with real estate investors and accredited investors, what you do and what you offer as a service is really of value and of need here in the industry. And that's why I'm bringing you on the show. A couple disclaimers for everybody. This is informational, educational purposes only, not financial advice that's specific to anybody. So, when I bring on a guest, I was sharing this with Rosanna, before we started recording. This is not any type of, affiliation where, we're getting a kickback or she's paying to be on the show or we're paying her. These are folks that I talk to in the industry that I think can add genuine value to you, our listeners, which are individual accredited investors looking to invest in multifamily real estate. So with all of that in mind, I know that was a mouthful, but let's get started. I want to start by asking you, Rosanna, just how did you get started in financial planning?
Yeah, so thank you, Travis. So first I wanted to mention that I also here to provide value and maybe some insights that you may not have had talking to financial advisors before being in real estate. So I'm very happy to just kind of have a conversation about what matters to you as an investor and as a person. And that's a good lead-in into financial planning. Because for me, financial planning is just looking at what a person wants in their life first, and then translating into any financial tools and strategies that you may need to achieve those goals. So I got into financial planning after being in the investments, stock market investments space for over 20 years. And what had attracted me to financial planning is the opportunity to work with families to really position them for that best life that we're all seeking to achieve. And it's really doesn't matter to a point if you're where you invest. You definitely want to be smart. You want to be flexible. You want to achieve your goals. But it's the to me, the importance of planning and just having your overall goals be at the forefront of the process is very important.
I love that. And I love that your focus is really with helping real estate investors. So can you share a little bit more about why help real estate investors rather than the traditional route of financial planning with stocks, bonds, and mutual funds?
Yeah, I think just like everything in life, there are just some really good accidents that happen, and then they lead you in just this amazing direction. After I started my firm, I happened to have come across many realtors who I had started to help with their cash flow and with their sort of business finances and maybe some of their retirement savings, just to make sure that the high income that they're earning is building also their future. And every time I talk to a realtor, we invariably discussed real estate and investing in real estate and wealth building through real estate. And having come from a sort of investment background where I looked specifically at the stock market, it was very interesting to me just to look in real estate as an additional asset class that was here positioning people for financial success, and I hadn't known too much about it. Just like many financial advisors. And to me, that made complete sense. We're looking for diversification. So why not diversify across many asset classes and in different ways to provide these multiple streams of income that ultimately build even more financial security than just being in one place. So the more I learned about real estate, the more I looked into different types of investing, the more I realized that that's something that I want to specialize in. I want to also learn and invest myself, and also help real estate investors actually just maximize what they have. What I have found is not a ton of real estate investors have had good help that they can trust, that they can count on. And I found many people who have given up on financial advisors or just view them, oh, somebody is just managing my stocks. Where I think that real estate investors have just the same planning needs just as everybody else. It's just that they have fewer places to go to get real help that they need.
I appreciate you sharing that. And I was just, man, I can't help but think of the endless amounts of conversations over the years. Usually when I hear, yeah, let me get with my financial advisor and I'll let you know. I never hear back, right? And so I spent some time working for one of the largest brokerage firms here in the United States. And I can tell you, man, private real estate is just not a conversation, right? It's if it's not in their wheelhouse, if it's not under their assets under management, a mutual fund or whatever it is, it's a no-go. It's a conversation very few people know anything about. So I appreciate you serving our clients and kind of what we do. So are there any unique financial issues or situations that you see today real estate investors facing?
Yes, absolutely. There are several issues that I see come up over and over again. They have to do with just the typical, first of all, it's just the typical financial planning issues. Like, what are your goals? What are you trying to achieve? What do you want your retirement to look like? So just the overall goals. But then it's actually looking at your portfolio of assets and seeing what does that portfolio call for in terms of financials and tools and strategies that you need to A, grow your portfolio, B, secure your income, and C, to protect what you have built against risk, against liability, against things that can happen in life that you don't know, but you want to be prepared. So from that perspective, say you look at the property investor, and maybe they have a couple of rentals, and then they also have maybe multifamily investment. So what are the all of these financial strategies that they need to have in place? So for example, if you have a property portfolio on the rental side, knowing what is the age of your portfolio and where are you on taking the depreciation, and where are you to getting to a point where you will have paid off the mortgage. If you're holding that rental portfolio for retirement income, at some point you won't be able to take the depreciation if it's fully depleted and you've owned the property for so long. So what does the cash flow look like? Are your properties properly insured? Do you have an umbrella plan? Where are these properties going? Are they in an S corp or an LLC? And there are conversations about which one is better for rental portfolio, but it all depends on your personal situation. And then on the sort of multifamily side, when will you have an exit event, and what is your reinvestment opportunities? Where will you go with the cash that you will receive, so that you can keep your retirement income in mind, and how to continue that stream. Basically, making sure that you have a plan for income streams and how they will change and where you will get those income streams, and making sure that you properly protect and have all the strategies in place to continue to enjoy that income.
I love that. So the benefit here for everyone listening is, what you offer is basically like a one-stop shop. I mean, you're looking at things so dynamically from so many different angles. A lot of what I've heard, and it's been part of my own struggle over the years, is having to line up, 6 or 7 professionals that hyper specialize in just one little niche, but then it's getting everybody to communicate. If you're going to do, just to throw an example out there, an S corp, well, you might have an asset protection attorney, but now you got to talk to a CPA about it, and then you got to talk to an insurance person about the umbrella stuff. So it's nice that you can just encapsulate all of this and give people a solid picture. So can you share a little more about how you help real estate investors protect their wealth? Because preservation of capital is top of mind for us as a company, of course, and all of our investors.
Yeah, I think to your point, when you as an investor talk to different professionals, every professional has their own expertise and their own niche. So they are going to advise you on that particular area. And not knowing you as an investor, not knowing you as a person and your goals, they may not see the bigger picture. So what I see is people have bits and pieces of insurance and bits and pieces of plans that, if you look at the overall picture, it just doesn't tie together very tightly. So I think that's the benefit of having somebody in my role who has worked with you for years. We've done the planning, we've done the thinking, we have done the sort of strategizing, and now we know exactly what you need in your financial plan. And as far as protecting your assets and your wealth, I think it depends on your situation and where you are in terms of your net worth and your sophistication, where you are with your family needs. Who are your kids? What do you want to leave to them going for many years down the road? And what is actually their level of interest in your business? Right, there could, first and foremost, it's your business entity. Setting it up as a partnership, maybe there is something that's called family partnerships, where you can have your family as part of the partnership as limited partners, and that provides an extra really strong level of protection for everybody in your family. And at the same time, your family is involved, they can get the income sooner in their life. So it's just one aspect of partnerships and business structures that can really protect the family. Umbrella insurance, I think, another one. Some of these things are basic, right? Many of us have heard of all of these aspects of finances many times, but it's actually figuring out what is the overall picture and what you need going forward, right? And then taxes are a huge component of our finances, and depending on where your assets are, how do you minimize those taxes? If I work with realtors, and throughout the years, having a self-employed retirement plan is a big part of their portfolio. And so it could be, when I speak to long-term real estate investors, many do have a 401k or an IRA with a substantial balance. And the way to protect that is figure out, okay, how can I minimize taxes, whether it's starting a Roth IRA and converting some of your assets, or just maybe moving some of those assets into a brokerage account where you can manage the distributions and the taxes. Is a great idea, but you've got to start planning early because it takes time. It could be expensive from tax perspective to do those conversions. What I want to say is most people that I work with have good level of diversification. It's not just one asset type, and as we're having a conversation, there is risk everywhere. So you need to have good balance to mitigate that risk. So looking across your portfolio, your assets, your liabilities, and structuring these insurance, business structure, tax protections, putting them in place to make sure that your wealth will last, not only your lifetime, but also the generations to come, if that's your wish.
100%. So we're always using this disclaimer on webinars, podcasts, things we write that, seek licensed financial advice when it comes to your own investing decisions. So what would your words of advice be to any real estate investors that are maybe on the fence about working with a financial planner?
Yeah, so I have good news for real estate investors. It's Financial advice is changing, right? A lot of people are realize, well, maybe not a lot, just there is a small minority of us who realize that the value of financial planning is in the planning and the strategy and the support a lot more than in the investment piece. Because let's face it, the investments, you can just go to Vanguard and invest your money and do well, or even a robo advisor. So it's the industry is changing the realization that people need support on a more comprehensive and complete level. I think it's sinking in. So what I would say to real estate investors is there are planners like us who understand you, who appreciate what you're doing and can support you. And what I would say is like everybody needs financial planning and advice. It's just the nature of us as humans, is to not be super objective and be super emotional when it comes to money, right? So taking away that layer, somebody who can ask the right questions, who can either confirm what you're doing or challenge you to think a little differently, will just completely transform your level of confidence and the level of support you feel. And related to that, I think the business models are changing. Financial planners like me and some people I know, we work with people on annual fee that is decoupled from assets under management, and that allows us both the flexibility and the objectivity. And also it gives us an opportunity to provide value in the advice and not just the investment management. So there is hope.
Love that. Appreciate you
Yeah.
sharing. Before we wrap up, we're in volatile times. Interest rates have gone to, historically aggressive rate hike cycles in the last 18 to 24 months. Lots of volatility between the stock market, between real estate. So at this point, any words of encouragement, anything you want to share for our listeners in times like these?
Yes, I'll share what I share with my clients. It's investing is always volatile. There is always something going on in the world that will affect your plans. But the key is to have that plan and to stick to it and be flexible where you achieve your goals. There are always opportunities for those of us who are patient, and those of us who most importantly take a long-term approach to their finances. Interest rates will come and go, up and down. I think what I've seen is it's been such a good time to invest in both the stock market and the real estate. I think many of us probably have forgotten a little bit how it can feel. But if you've been in the market since 2008 and before, you've seen the tough part and the fact that things change. And as long as you take sort of a non-emotional approach as much as you can to your overall financial security, and again, the long-term approach, you'll be fine.
I love that. It reminds me of the quote. I don't know if it's Benjamin Graham or Buffett who said it, but it's like the stock market in the short term is a voting machine, and long term it's a weighing machine. So we've got to pay attention and remember the history here. Rental housing has been a thing for thousands of years. Not everybody's going to be a homeowner, and that's a worldwide thing. So our sector is very essential, very needed, very behind in the amount of units that we need, to the tune of millions, And so we were talking before this call that operationally speaking, the portfolio is actually doing really well. Most our properties are, in fact, outperforming what we thought was going to happen in terms of rents and collection and occupancy and whatnot. Right now, in our space anyway, it's the capital markets that are the challenge. It's having to replace a 3% loan with a 6 or 7% loan. That's obviously going to affect the revenue and the income and the distributable cash flow and things like that. So I'm of the mindset, I'm a dollar cost average kind of guy. I don't care if we're talking about the stock market or real estate. I'm buying every year. And I know that sometimes I'm going to be buying high and sometimes I'm going to be buying the dip. And I would argue that right now we're in an opportunity to buy the dip a lot of these deals we've been purchasing have been, double-digit discounts relative to previous pricing. So to your point, stick with your plan. Look at the long term. You don't want to miss out on these very seldom opportunities where you can be a buyer in an environment like this. So appreciate you coming on the show. I appreciate your insights. If our listeners want to learn more, if they want to reach out, how can they reach you?
They can reach me many different ways. I'm very active on social media. The first place is queenvestllc.com. There, it's my website where you can learn more about me and my work and reach out directly. I'm also on YouTube. My channel is Queenvest. I'm on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and my email is rosanna@queenvestllc.com. Please reach out and I'll be happy to have a conversation about your financial planning needs and get you to a much better place for your long-term goals.
Appreciate your time again. Thank you for being on the show. Listeners, hopefully you found some value in this short episode of Masters of Multifamily with Rosanna Queenman. Have a great week, and we will see you on the next episode.
Thank you, Travis.